Right now, buying a car feels completely broken. Sticker prices keep climbing. Monthly payments are quietly crossing the $1,000 mark. And dealerships keep insisting this is just the new normal. But behind closed garage doors, something very different is happening. While showrooms push $60,000 luxury vehicles packed with touchscreens and glowing badges, mechanics are quietly laughing. Because the people who fix cars for a living aren't driving what dealers want you to buy. They're driving something else entirely. Cars that don't look impressive on Instagram. Cars you won't see in flashy commercials. Cars that don't scream success, but quietly deliver it. And the reason premium brands hate this list? Because once you understand how it was built, you can't unsee it. But before we reveal the 7 affordable cars mechanics actually drive themselves, you need to understand how this list came together in the first place. Because this wasn't built on opinions, ads, or online hype. It was built on something far more dangerous to the auto industry: experience. To find out what mechanics truly trust, a simple approach was taken. 43 full-time automotive technicians were contacted across Germany, the UK, France, Poland, and Romania. Not dealership employees, not sales consultants. Independent mechanics working in real garages, fixing real breakdowns every single day. They weren't asked about the newest tech. They weren't asked about design or features. They were asked one question: what car do you personally drive and why? No sponsorships, no anonymous surveys, no brand pressure. Every answer was verified using registration data. Only daily drivers counted. No project cars, no company vehicles, no demos. And there was one more rule that changed everything. Any model introduced after 2024 was automatically excluded, because new cars always look reliable at first. The real problems don't show up until years later, when warranties expire and repair bills start piling up. This filter stripped away hype and left only one thing behind: proof. And once the answers started coming in, a pattern appeared almost immediately. If a car relied on proprietary diagnostics, it was out. If it forced owners back to the dealer for simple repairs, gone. If it paired a small turbo with a fragile transmission, eliminated. Only cars with straightforward engineering survived. Naturally aspirated engines, proven hybrid systems, manual or simple automatic gearboxes. Parts are available everywhere. No gimmicks, no experiments, just machines that could survive real life. And nowhere was that lesson clearer than with Lars. Lars spent his days buried under the hoods of German luxury cars in a busy Hamburg workshop. BMW, Audi, Mercedes. He knew them inside out. But when his own BMW 3 Series started rattling at just 90,000 kilometers, even he wasn't prepared for what came next. The diagnosis was brutal. A failed timing chain. The repair bill came out to €4,200, more than half the car's value. This wasn't neglect. This wasn't abuse. This was designed. The timing chain was buried so deep that hours of labor were required just to reach it, and the replacement parts alone cost more than an entire year of maintenance on a basic Toyota. Lars rebuilt engines for a living. But skill didn't matter here. The problem was baked in. So he did something that surprised a lot of people. He sold the BMW at a loss. And that same week, he walked into a Toyota dealership and drove out in a Corolla hybrid. Not because it was exciting, not because it made a statement, but because he was done waiting for the next warning light. 2 years later, the Corolla has asked for nothing. Oil, filters, tires, no surprise failures. No €1,000 diagnostic fees, no sleepless nights. Lars still fixes luxury cars every day, but he refuses to own one ever again. And once you hear what other mechanics drive, you start to understand why. Anna's Suzuki Swift doesn't turn heads. There's no sculpted bodywork, no premium badge, no digital theater inside the cabin. But in her small town outside Cluj, it's the car every taxi driver wants. Anna has run her Swift as a taxi for nearly 8 years. The odometer rolled past 340,000 kilometers last winter. No engine rebuilds, no transmission replacements, just oil changes, filters, and tires. The original clutch lasted until 270,000 kilometers. Replacement cost? €400. Parts and labor. Brake pads? €80. Installed while she finished lunch. That's the entire repair history. Other drivers in her fleet tried newer cars, small SUVs, turbocharged hatchbacks, models that promised comfort and tech. And one by one, they came back. €500 sensors, €1,200 turbo failures, software issues that grounded cars for days. The Swift doesn't suffer from any of that. Its naturally aspirated engine doesn't overheat in traffic. There's no turbo to cook itself. No dual-clutch gearbox waiting to drop a four-figure surprise. Even the interior plays a role. Physical buttons, a real handbrake. Nothing that needs a software update just to work. Anna spends less than €500 a year keeping it on the road. Insurance is cheap. Fuel economy hovers around 5 liters per 100 kilometers. Parts are available everywhere. When asked if she'd ever upgrade, she just laughs. As long as it starts every morning, she sees no reason to change. And that mindset shows up again, with a little more refinement. Never planned to become a Mazda loyalist. He worked in a Warsaw repair shop, fixing everything from battered French hatchbacks to German SUVs packed with sensors. So when he bought a Mazda CX-30, his colleagues were confused. Why not something turbocharged? Something flashier? Marek's answer was simple. He wanted a car that worked. Under the hood sits a naturally aspirated 2.0-liter engine. No turbo, no hybrid complexity. Paired with a manual gearbox that feels almost old school. New. It costs as much as some entry-level luxury cars, but unlike them, it doesn't demand attention. Marek's CX-30 passed 150,000 kilometers last year. His repair list? Oil, filters, brake pads, tires, that's it. Breakdown statistics back it up. The CX-30 reports one of the lowest roadside call-out rates in its class. Luxury crossovers average 2 to 3 times as many failures, often caused by electronics or forced induction systems. Fuel economy stays reasonable. Parts are widely available, no dealer lock-in. Mechanics call it boring perfection, and once you understand what boring really saves you, it becomes very attractive. Eleanor's Corolla Hybrid proves that hybrids aren't fragile experiments. They're workhorses. She's a veteran mechanic from Lyon, who's seen every kind of failure roll through her family's workshop. Her own Corolla Hybrid now sits at 380,000 kilometers. No engine rebuilds. No battery drama, no transmission failures. Over more than a decade, her maintenance log reads like a checklist. Oil, filters, tires, brake pads. One water pump at 260,000 kilometers. That's it. Fuel consumption stays around 4 liters per 100 kilometers. Even more shocking is the resale value. After years of daily use, the Corolla Hybrid still holds nearly 68% of its original price. Taxi fleets compete for them. Used buyers hunt them down. Where turbocharged engines start showing issues at 80,000 kilometers, these hybrids just keep gliding forward. For Eleanor, it's simple. You don't buy this car for style points. You buy it because you want your money to last. Julian made a different choice. He drives a turbo, but not just any turbo. His Honda Civic 1.5 VTEC turbo manual has already crossed 200,000 kilometers on the original turbocharger. Most mechanics would call that risky. Julian calls it calculated. Unlike fragile turbo designs he sees fail daily, this engine uses both direct and port fuel injection. That keeps carbon buildup in check and extends engine life. Paired with a manual gearbox, it avoids the CVT failures that haunt other compacts. Over 5 years, his fuel economy averages 5.5 liters per 100 kilometers. No warning lights, no panic moments, no dealer dependency. The Civic proves an important point. It's not that all turbos are bad, it's that most are rushed. And mechanics know the difference. Katarina's choice reflects European reality. She drives a P2024 Skoda Octavia manual. Not because it's trendy, because it works. The manual gearbox alone saves thousands over the car's lifetime. Parts are everywhere. Even small towns stock spares. Inspection records show pass rates near 99%. Fuel economy stays under 6 liters per 100 kilometers. Her annual maintenance rarely breaks €700. While colleagues gamble on new mild hybrids and touchscreen-heavy interiors, Katarina sticks to something she understands: a simple engine, a real stick shift, and a car that doesn't try to outsmart its owner. Tom's Mazda MX-5 proves reliability doesn't have to be boring. His Roadster has crossed 300,000 kilometers. Naturally aspirated engine, manual gearbox, 14 years of ownership, total repair history, oil changes, spark plugs, one clutch, tires. Annual costs average €550, less than what some luxury owners pay for a single sensor. Tom doesn't buy reliability to save money. He buys it to keep driving, and that's a lesson many buyers miss. Sophia's Yaris Cross Hybrid sits at the top of the list for a reason: urban traffic, harsh roads, daily abuse. Fuel economy stays under 5 liters per 100 kilometers. No warning lights, no battery issues, no surprises. And when she checked resale values, the shock hit. Even after years, demand stays strong. Taxi fleets, families, rideshare drivers, everyone wants the same thing: predictability. When you step back, the pattern becomes impossible to ignore. Simplicity wins. Proven tech beats innovation. Manual and basic automatics outlast complex systems. Physical buttons survive touchscreens. And when you put numbers to it, the gap becomes painful. Fuel savings, lower repair bills, slower depreciation. Over 10 years, these cars cost thousands less than their luxury counterparts. Not because they're cheaper up front, but because they don't punish ownership. Mechanics aren't anti-luxury, they're anti-surprises. And when the people who fix cars all day choose the same traits again and again, it tells you something important. The smartest car isn't the one that impresses strangers. It's the one that keeps you moving. So the question is simple. Which car would you trust with the next decade of your life? Let me know in the comments.